All right, welcome to The Explainer. We've taken a really dense 2-hour esoteric lecture all about harnessing sexual energy, and we are boiling it down to the absolute essentials for you. 5 minutes. Let's go.
So let's just start here. Do you ever feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions all at once? Because, the source material we're digging into today, it has a pretty wild and very specific reason for why we feel that constant inner chaos.
So let's dive right into the core premise. The whole foundation of this teaching is this. Humanity, for the most part, is basically asleep. We're psychologically unconscious.
And what does that mean exactly? Well, according to this philosophy, we're only using a tiny sliver of our true potential. Think about it. Just 3% of our consciousness is actually awake. The other 97%? It's supposedly trapped, locked away by something it calls the ego.
Okay, so this ego thing is obviously pretty important. But what is it? I'll tell you right now, this teaching has a view of the self that's, well, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Yeah, see, the ego isn't one solid thing, like me. Instead, pictured as a chaotic mob of conflicting voices, desires, and identities, all scrambling for control inside your head. It's not a single I, it's a multitude of them. And to really drive this home, the lecture pulls out that famous quote, "My name is Legion, for we are many." That's the whole point right there. The you that you think of as you, it's not one thing, it's a whole crowd.
And this is where that inner chaos comes from. You're stressing about bills. That's one I. At the same time, another I is wondering what to have for dinner. Another one's checking your phone. Another is judging me right now. Each thought is a different ego fighting for the steering wheel of your human machine. It's total mayhem in there.
The lecture uses a great analogy for this, Pinocchio. We're like puppets, you see. Our strings are being pulled by all these different inner egos. We're not real, conscious individuals with a unified will. Not yet, anyway.
So that's the big question, right? If we're puppets, how the heck do we cut the strings? Well, according to this teaching, the key, the answer, lies in our most powerful, most creative force, our sexual energy.
But here's the thing. It's presented as a total double-edged sword. You can use it in two completely opposite ways. If you raise that energy upwards, it awakens consciousness. That's Kundalini. But if you expel it downwards, it just feeds the ego. It strengthens that legion within. That's called the Kundabaffer.
And let's be super clear about something. The lecture gives a huge warning here. This is not about repression. No. It says just bottling up this energy without knowing how to transmute it is incredibly dangerous. It's like a nuclear power plant having a meltdown. All that power builds up with nowhere to go.
Okay. So, if repression is a meltdown, how do you use this energy for that ascension we mentioned? Well, the lecture lays out a very specific practice. It calls it sexual alchemy. It's all about consciously directing this incredibly potent force.
So what is sexual alchemy? At its heart, it's all about transformation. It's not about getting rid of desire. It's about taking that raw, powerful material of lust and transmuting it, turning it from base metal into spiritual gold. A refined energy you can actually use to dissolve those egos we talked about.
The source breaks it down into 4 basic steps. First, there's a union of male and female forces. Crucially, the practice is done without orgasm, so the energy isn't spilled. This union is said to create this incredible inner light, a Christic force. And then, in the final step, you use that newly created light during meditation to basically electrocute and dissolve the egos one by one.
So, what's the whole point of all this? I mean, it sounds pretty intense. Well, the ultimate goal here isn't small. It's about a total, complete transformation, a full-on psychological and spiritual rebirth.
And the end goal isn't what you might think. It's not about gaining some kind of personal power. It's about the complete death of that selfish, fragmented ego. When that happens, the lecture says, the true soul can finally be born within. It calls this the Christ consciousness, and its purpose is to work for all of humanity.
What does that look like? It's a massive shift in how you see everything. You go from the ego's constant me, total self-centeredness, to what it calls bodhicitta, which is just this deep, genuine, unconditional concern for everyone else.
Look, whether you buy into this whole philosophy or not, it leaves us with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? The source says this path is all about self-knowledge. So here's the final thought. What would you actually find if you really, truly looked within? If you paid attention to that legion inside, what would you see?